We begin in China, where the country's political high season has officially begun. China's top political advisory body is meeting in Beijing, and that's for the Chinese People's Consultative Conference, or CPPCC. China's top legislature will also be meeting later this week. CPPCC Chairman Yu Zheng-sheng delivered a report to more than 2,000 political advisors gathered in the Chinese capital's Great Hall of the People. They're discussing major political, economic and social issues affecting the country, and decisions made there will affect the world. Zheng-sheng said the committee has focused on the central task of economic development and carried out investigative studies and political consultations in line with the 13th five-year plan.
We put the main thrust of our work serving the overall interests of the country on the making of suggestions and proposals for the formulation of the 13th five-year plan, which requires sustained rounds of study and research, as well as the creation of a host of proposals. Concentrated into 3 months starting from April, we carried out 56 inspections, studies, and consultations as part of our in-depth research on a number of significant issues. We held quarterly meetings on the macroeconomic situation, a meeting of the China Economic and Social Forum, and a meeting to analyze the national situation in terms of population, resources, and the environment. We strengthened dynamic and comprehensive research and made timely suggestions and proposals for both responding to the downward pressure on China's economy and improving the country's macro control policies.
Right, let's get you an update now on that story. I'm joined live from Beijing by CCTV's Wu Guoxiu. Wu, what's the latest coming out of that CPPCC meeting?
Well, the first highlight might be the work report delivered by the top political advisor Yu Zheng-sheng. During the opening session, he says that last year, the central task of the CPPCC was economic development. Members made suggestions and proposals for the country's five-year development plan from 2016 to 2020. Yu also pointed to the supply-side reform, a popular notion that includes reducing ineffective and low-end supply championed by Chinese President Xi Jinping, and to a new set of development philosophy as policy options at hand to respond to the slowing Chinese economy. CPPCC members also made proposals on hot issues responding to the public sentiment, such as education, medical care, employment, and environment protection. While the major tasks this year include meetings on better targeted poverty relief efforts and promoting development of literature and art, this year, they will oversight more effectively on policy implementations on urban planning, food safety, nature reserves, air pollution, and the construction of handicapped accessible faculties throughout the society. While these jobs will be carried out by over 600,000 CPPCC members at all levels across the country.
Now, Wu, what would you say then would be dominating the agenda in terms of the main issues or points that are being discussed?
Well, during this annual session, more than 2,000 political advisors gathered from across the country to discuss major political, economic, and social issues. Last year, political advisors mostly concerned on economic issues, and this year is more likely to be the same. So far, many proposals focus on the new five-year plan for 2016 to 2020, innovative development, deepening reform of state-owned enterprises. Some also focused on building sponge city, intellectual city, and improving citizens and social civilization. There are also proposals on hot issues responding to public concerns, as I mentioned, include strengthening the ranks of teachers in rural schools, improving the quality of generic drugs, developing traditional Chinese medicine, ensuring the safety of genetically modified agricultural products, and strengthening pollution control in rural areas. But as happened on one state's news conference, over 40% of questions related to further restructuring of Chinese economy, and that is also going to be a major theme throughout this year's session.
Now, Wu, no doubt leaders around the world will be paying close attention to events in Beijing, but just tell us, what do you think might be the key highlights that we can expect to emerge out of the CPPCC in the coming days?
Well, this annual session of China's top political advisory body will last until the 14th, one day longer than last year because of a very busy schedule. Members will attend the annual session of the NPC National People's Congress to discuss a government work report the draft 13th five-year plan, and the draft law on charity. So we could expect to see what their proposals are like and what changes could possibly be brought to the country. A special offer this year is some famous entrepreneurs will be invited to a news conference to talk about how to lift the confidence, innovation, and reform amid the country's slowing economy. CPPCC spokesperson Wang Guoqing said on Wednesday that China is confident to achieve medium to high-speed economic growth in 2016. So this session could be a previous window to see how that words could be translated into action.
All right, we'll leave it there. Thanks very much for that update, Wu Gushao, live for us in Beijing.